Hey, you found Click with Rona. Each episode of this podcast, I'm going to be interviewing people that inspire me, and I'm going to share their magic, their journey, and their success. The word click has a special meaning in my heart because it was my secret word that I chose with my grandma as a child. When we listen to these people, you're going to notice when it clicked for them. Sit back, grab your headphones, and just click with us. Who are you? Who's Drew D'Angelo?
I'm just a guy.
What was the next step when you were growing up? Did you go to college? Did you have...
I attempted to go to college.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think that clashing in the collaboration is so important because through that comes the sparks of creativity.
Absolutely.
I was like, God, I'm meeting all of these people who are my clients and they're amazing people and their husbands seemingly have their stuff together and I'm 19 years old and I'm like, how do I get that?
Welcome, Drew.
Thank you.
I am so happy for you to be here.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. So you thought you were going to my house.
Yeah, for some random reason. I'm like, okay, she's got a podcast studio in her house. And then as I was saying before we started rolling, like, dude, this place is insane. Thanks. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Such a vibe.
Yeah.
I love it.
Way cooler than the she shed, right?
No, different. It's completely different. I mean, I love that environment. Yeah. Because it's the kind of brain, it's the hub. Whereas this is like just this place that's just a vibe. It's your creative expression kind of overflowed, you know?
It is. And you know that about me because we actually work together. Mm-hmm. So I want the audience who doesn't know you to know you even deeper. And I want my team to know you even deeper because we have the pleasure of working with you currently right now on an amazing project.
Yes.
But for those of the listeners and the watchers, tell me, and for me, like, who are you? Who's Drew D'Angelo?
I'm just a guy my full name is Andrew Charles Rebulio D'Angelo. So I have the D'Angelo part, which is a name that I took from my stepfather. The Rebulio part is from my father, who was one of my best friends, long passed away. But I took that last name because I wanted to honor both people in my life. I wanted to honor my birth father and I wanted to honor my stepfather, who poured everything into me. And to this day is my biggest mentor and best friend alongside my mom. And he's just amazing. And so I go by Drew D'Angelo, of course, because it's easier and not everybody can say that full name. It's a mouthful. I get it. But I've been that since I was, 5 years old, 6 years old. I've just always gone by that. So it works. Grew up in Orange County. Okay. Specifically, half the time in Newport Beach, half the time in Buena Park. So I saw, more blue collar, white collar-ish side of the road. Mm-hmm. And then I saw kind of the end of the 55, road, which is like this beautiful place known as Newport Beach. And I saw that lifestyle as well. So I was exposed to just different things in my life. And in being exposed to different things in your life, you kind of figure out what you want to be when you grow up, because you reflect back on that. So as you're progressing through childhood, or as I was progressing through adolescence into teenage years, into young adulthood, I was exposed to what my dad did, my birth father, Andy, which was he worked for Boeing for like 40 some odd years.
Oh, wow.
So in procurement. So he did that. And that was a 9 to 7 job. And he came home and he played baseball with me and, taught me tennis and all that kind of stuff. And then there was this side that my stepdad did, which was he would get in a truck and he would drive over a mountaintop and he would go and be on dirt lots, like mountains. And those mountains would turn into roads. And those roads would then have houses on them. And those houses would then be these beautiful homes, which is now like Laguna Niguel and South Peak and places like that. So that formed kind of my passion for real estate. And in between that, my mom started her own interior design business. She was partnered with Terry Seidman out of New York. And she would always have these Horchow or interior design magazines, Architectural Digest. And then my dad would have GQ. So those were like the magazines of me growing up. So I had Style and then I had architecture because I was always involved. So like in my room growing up, my parents didn't get me like a computer setup. It was an architect's table. And so on the architect's table, I had my dad's plans because he would use that.
Right.
And, I'd have all the architect's tools. So I would just like doodle. And then I would draw like the living space and the living area to scale as best I could.
Yeah.
And work on that and then give it to my mom and be like, hey, look what I did. But it would be like me taking this and doing that. So I have these impressions as I'm going through what I'm doing. And I just got into real estate because I thought it was cool. And my dad was in a tuxedo a lot of the time because it was the 80s.
Oh, yep.
And, he ran a publicly traded home building company in Newport Beach. They didn't treat him very well. And then he partnered with Bill Simon, the former Treasury Secretary of the United States. And he just kind of went off and Dick Barkley and of the Barkley Center in UCI. My dad had really cool people around him.
Yeah.
And so these guys were just like, they were dads. They were cool. They did stuff that was seemingly like impossible in my mind to fathom.
Right.
And they were working from home. Like they would come to our house. And so they would go and they would meet and then they would have lunch. And like, he wasn't really like going to an office. So that entrepreneurship of like, hey, I can be home and be present and do that didn't impact me until I became a father. But, I'm married. I have 4 kids, second marriage, the forever one.
Yep.
And 2 kids with my previous wife, 2 kids now with Marjorie, who is my everything. And I am a developer of 25 years. So I got started when I was 21 years old and became an assistant to my dad.
Okay.
Worked my way up from being an assistant to a assistant project manager, working underneath a guy that he had hired, project manager, assistant vice president, and then just before the economy crashed, senior VP. And through that process, I came up in the game of doing spreadsheets by hand. I came up in the game of learning land entitlement, understanding how cities are planned, why they're planned that way, the different divisions, talking with mayors, talking with council members, talking with board of supervisors, and really learning how the hierarchy of politics in development work.
Sure.
In only the best way, like who does what, how does this all work? And, in between that time, highlighted as a club promoter in Newport Beach, thought I was the ish, was not, right? Picked up an addiction, had a son in 2008, who I call him my game changer, my oldest one, Maximilian, and decided to get sober. And so I've been sober since the day he was born. And through that, I stayed sober. I completely changed my life. The economy crashed, and everything in my life is about, like I always say this, I am not self-made. I am made by the generosity of others and my willingness to be of service to those people.
Right.
And that's it. Like that's really encompasses my real estate career and everything else. And of course, there's these little details that come in where it's like, hey, how did you get to this? How did you get to that? And honestly, it's just keeping my head down, staying focused and believing in myself and saying, if nobody's going to bet on me, I'm going to bet on me. And I bet on me. And that's how SkySale was formed. I mean, all of that, in there. And
you have so much in those, years that I'm listening to. And thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really know your origin story, but clearly you were definitely molded by your environment and your parents, everyone that touched your life. Mm-hmm. And did you know that, like, at that point in time, you obviously said you sat at the architect's drafting table and you knew that. What was the next step when you were growing up? Did you go to college? Did you have,
I attempted to go to college.
Okay. Yeah.
So I got a full ride scholarship for tennis for UCLA and USC. Oh. I turned them both down.
Really?
Because I thought I wanted to explore the world. I wanted to surf. I wanted to smoke weed. I wanted to hang out with my friends.
Okay.
And I'll find myself and go back to school. Well, periodically through my life, I had tried to do that.
Right.
But it just wasn't, school was not who I was then from a maturity standpoint.
Right.
I was not ready for that regimen.
Okay.
And I needed to kind of do it on my own and make every mistake humanly possible, which I, of course, did.
Yeah.
But that, I guess, inspiration that you're talking about and asking about only came later on in life when I put the pieces together, because I was able to look back and go, oh yeah, I would sit there for 2, 3, 4 hours and draw something and not be bothered by it. When, a kid with ADD, I would be like all over the place.
Right.
But that had me focused. And then it was, where am I most comfortable? Where am I passionate? Where am I effective? And everything in my life just happened to center around real estate. It was not by design. It was by just this pull that it had on me.
At what point was that?
So I would say when I ran the Newport Beach Tennis Club junior program. I was teaching tennis full time. I was recruited away from the Balboa Bay Club Yacht Club, which is now, I think, NBTC or whatever. It's a paddleball, racquetball, a great club. And I was like, God, I'm meeting all of these people who are my clients, and they're amazing people, and their husbands seemingly have their stuff together. And I'm 19 years old, and I'm like, how do I get that?
Right.
And so I would ask a lot of questions because I was teaching their wives and their daughters or their sons tennis.
Yeah.
And so it kind of clicked with me like, okay, well, I'm obviously not going to be a club owner. I'm not going to be a club promoter / club owner there.
Right.
So I may as well ask my dad, like, hey, here's the deal. And you'll hear me talk about this later on too. And I've spoken about this on other podcasts, but the idea that things get dropped in my lap from the Almighty is absolutely true.
Right.
So how I got into development was, yes, there was a passion there, more of a curiosity. But it came from a client of mine by the name of Bruce Anderson, whose son I had taken from, adolescence to full ride in college. So really good accomplishment as a coach. And he comes to me and he says, hey, I'm a land developer. And he was kind of a smaller developer, but he did deals. And he's like, I need a good project manager. And so my dad had known him and had respect, but was at a completely different level. So I went to my dad and I run things by him. And I said, Dad, I'm thinking about exiting because I'm basically, my skin is super dark. I'm starting to get like sunspots. I'm too young to do this. And I don't want to do this forever, man. Like, this is tiring.
Right.
I don't want to be, not that I don't want to teach kids forever, but that's just not the life I want.
Right.
And so we had this really like deep father and son talk. And he goes, that's not what you're going to do. If that's really where you want to go, then you're going to sit down, you're going to shut up, you're going to get my coffee, you're going to bring me mail, you're going to take notes, you're going to listen to every word I say and do everything I say. Are you ready for that? And I'll pay you X, which was like $2,500 a month. It was like nothing. I was like child labor right now, right?
Right.
Like,
and how old were you at this point?
19,
19, okay.
20. And so I was 20 on the verge of being 21. And I had a girlfriend and she was a psych major and she was getting her life together and going off to grad school. And I was just this like tennis coach, kind of going with the flow,
right?
Surfing every day, the party life, doing whatever. And then my dad said, I'll give you a shot. And I stuck with that. And I wasn't making enough with him. So I highlighted again as a club promoter.
Right.
And then it just kind of kept going. It kept going. But that at about 2010 is when it all clicked, meaning all the education that I had gotten,
right,
all the passion of what I really wanted to do and where I really wanted to go. That's when it was like, I can do this at a very high level. And that's when I just put my foot on the gas.
So you were working for your dad basically
till 2008.
Till 2008.
Yeah.
And then because you mentioned something obviously that affects your life big.
Yeah.
The addiction started.
It was quick because I got hooked pretty quick on cocaine. And then I was in relationships with women that liked cocaine as well. So that was not helpful.
Right.
And I seemed to like not be cool with living alone. So I would have these women live with me. And then it turned into a blessing, but I knocked one up and then I was like, oh, the right thing to do is get married.
Right.
And so out of respect for her and her father, I was like, okay, will you marry me? And we got married and we had 2 beautiful kids together. So the addiction was before that, like oh five, no, not oh five, probably let's see, I was 24, 25. I would say probably oh 06. Late 06 is when it happened, when things were really, really good.
Yep.
I was like, okay, I'm going to turn a Thursday night into a Friday night, a Saturday night, a Sunday night, and a Monday night, right? Because it was all you can eat sushi at the all you can eat place in Newport.
Yep.
Taco Tuesday at El Ranchito. Then it was Wednesday at Blue Beat, Thursday at Shark Club, Friday at My Club.
I remember all of those places.
Yeah. Saturday was like the tour.
Yeah.
And then Sunday was Sunday Fun Day. So it was, hey, let's wake up and continue on the party.
Right.
That's when it became a problem.
Got
And I was completely just separated from my passion, from who I was as an individual. I was completely unhealthy. And I was taken away from surfing and tennis. So the two things in my life that have fed me and given me a place of comfort.
Right.
And then in 2008, my son was born, and I was looking at him with unsober eyes, and he had this purity in his face and in his eyes. And I was like, never again. I will never look at you like that again. And you will never look at your father that way. And I never looked back.
So that was kind of your rock bottom?
That was it.
That was your moment? Like,
well, there was legal consequences to that.
Sure.
And so, getting back to that, it was this situation where there were legal consequences to it. And that was the first time in my life where my actions had caused collateral damage.
Okay.
That I was actually aware of.
Got it.
It was like, dude, okay, my son, he's healthy, thank God. But there's legal consequences to what I've done.
Right.
And so at that point, it was like, I've just put mud on my family name, both families. So I came clean to my family. I moved my mother-in-law from Marin County down here, put her in what was then Oakwood Apartments, had my son with her as we went through the outpatient program. And then one day turned into 1 month, turned into 3 months, turned into 18 months, turned into 2 years, so on and so forth. And then I just kept with it. But as I kept with it, and as I got more and more connected back to God and family,
right,
everything business-wise followed suit. It literally just was like, okay, here we go.
So I know God's a big thing in your life.
It's everything in my life.
And me too. And
yeah.
I want to use this opportunity for you to share that, because I've known you now for
a long time.
Yeah.
20.
It's interesting how our circles passed.
2011?
Yeah.
2011.
Mm-hmm. So my little guy he was born in 2008.
Yep.
So he was 3 when you and I first met. So it was about like 4 years into my business.
Yeah.
And somehow we connected, and then here we are in 2025.
Yep.
And we kept crossing paths.
We did.
And I always felt something special about you.
Likewise.
And so I know God is such a big part of your life, as me too. So at what point did that really impact you, that you woke up to something bigger and greater than you?
Again, little things that fall in my lap. So I had a friend named Matt who I had raised, who was an entrepreneur. I had raised $6 million for. And his dad was a pastor who's my pastor now.
Okay.
And Matt and I were really, really tight, really, really close. And during that time of me hanging out with Matt and raising capital and being a fund manager for private equity myself of a private family fund, he started introducing me to these like messages on CD, because back then cars had CD players.
Right.
So he would give me these CDs of like Jensen Franklin. And these were messages like I had not heard before. Cause I grew up Episcopalian. Mm-hmm. So it's this it's a beautiful thing, but I could never attach myself to like the messages. It was always very, a regimented service,
right?
A distinct message, but it was all over my head.
Mm-hmm.
And what really made me come to him was that I had met the woman of my dreams in 2011, which was Marjorie. and I was killing it at the time. And then everything was taken away. When I say taken away, God was pruning me as I look back. But what happened is I was doing so well that I got comfortable. And so I would spend a lot. I would do these things that are just very stupid and immature, but needed to be done. Lessons that needed to be learned. And I had met this beautiful woman, and she was my girlfriend at the time, and money started getting less and less and less. And I came to her and I said, hey, here's the deal. I had 2 kids living in San Francisco because mom had moved to San Francisco. And I was traveling to San Francisco back and forth. So I had this woman who paid my rent, paid my child support for like 4 months. She'll probably say 4, so I'm going to go with 4. She would remember. And during that time, it was so painful because pride was stripped, and God was calling me. He was pruning me to be more than, he was pruning me to tell me that the things that I was doing was I was making idols of money. I was comparing myself to others of, oh, this guy's making $500,000 a year. I'm making, like, it wasn't about God. There was nothing in that. It was like, okay, I believe in God and I do good things, but Jesus is just a way to God. It wasn't a thing until the message hit me, and it was my car getting repoed at a showing, right? Because I had gotten my license in late 2011.
Okay.
And I was selling my parents' house, and my car, I had not made a car payment in like 3 months, and it was a beautiful X5. They had repoed it. I got it back, but like, I hadn't told my then girlfriend what was happening.
Right.
I had clothes in it. So imagine pulling up to like a beautiful home, and in the driveway, there's this pile of surf stuff, clothes and all of that. And just I was mortified.
Sure.
So embarrassed. And when I got the car back on the way home, it was such a scary time in my life and such a scary moment to feel so vulnerable. But that's the perfect time that God really started pouring in. So about a week before, I had smoked cigarettes before, and I was literally standing on my patio, and I wore glasses. But back then, I was much younger, and I didn't have to wear glasses all the time. So I'm like, with my glasses on, looking at a tree, smoking, and I literally see Jesus like this. And I'm tripping out because I'm looking at my cigarette.
Cigarette, not weed at this
not weed.
point.
This is the story. So I'm like tripping out going, okay, am I smoking weed? Like, is there LSD in this? Like, what is happening here? Like, I'm literally seeing the tree, a eucalyptus tree, look like Jesus like this. Beard, everything, robe. And I'm tripping out. So I take my glasses off. Still the same thing. And I'm alone. Put my glasses back on. And I'm like, immediately put out my cigarette. Immediately tell my wife, like, or not my now wife, I'm like, I think we should go to church. Because she wasn't living with me at that time, but we were getting very, very close. And I loved her. I fell in love with her at first sight, truly. Yeah. So flash forward 2 weeks when I'm driving home from picking my car up, I'm so scared. I'm so like, just, okay, God, give me an answer. So I pop in Jensen Franklin, and the message was about the shield of faith. And it was about going through battles, and it was about having, that shield protecting you from the darts of the enemy, the fiery arrows of the enemy. And as I'm looking up in a car that had just been picked up from repo because my parents bailed me out, which I was very blessed to do, the window opens. And when I say the window, I put the sunroof open, and I'm going up Newport Coast, and I'm going to a condo that I had bought during, the recession. And literally the message hits me, and there's music going, and the clouds part. Like, second thing of like a visual thing. And it could just be the wind, but for me, the clouds parting and the sun hitting my face, and I lost it. Like, full blown, like hysterical, crying, and just coming to the Lord. And I'm like, okay, dude, you're it. Like, this is a clear sign of what's happening. That Sunday, it was on a Friday. That Sunday we were in church. I never looked back. I got involved. I got serious. I became of service, and I was already in service because of my program that I ran with being sober. But this was a new level of service, and this was a new level of learning about God and his blessings, and how you mature with it and how he deals with you at your level,
right,
in your space. And so God has always been, since then, the absolute forefront of what I do. And it again, these little things that happen, like we didn't have any money when we were getting married. And then at the 11th hour, we were going to have just like cocktails. I planned this $80,000 wedding with like 10,000 in the bank. Right.
Right.
And then literally two of our friends at the 11th hour said, I'll cover you. So our friend on a credit card covered our wedding, paid her back everything. And thank God for Eileen. She's the best. Her and I almost dated. So that I knew her before I knew my wife.
Right.
And I actually met my wife at a party of our mutual friend. So we'll talk about that because it's actually a really cool story. But yeah, God just has remained my everything.
And so how much of this now do you implement in your family's life, your daily life, and
Everything.
How much has this changed, do you think, your trajectory of where you were? And would you say that's the moment it clicked for you?
That is the moment where it made perfect sense of what God wanted me to do. I didn't know that time it was a stripping season until my pastor had said, this is what this is called that
right.
you're going through.
Right.
Here's the why. Here's the scripture. You're going to experience these things. And, he prophesied into my life, like, look, you will experience this, but you're going to come out of it. And he was right. And it created the foundation for how I run my family. It created the foundation of, here's what we do. We pray, we go to church, we are of service to others, just kind of the foundation of the family. It really changed everything.
And how much has that affected, and your wife obviously has to be on board with that, to have your family centered around that. How much have you guys seen your relationship grow from that?
There are seasons.
Sure.
Right? I think in every marriage there are seasons, and one will grow. You're not growing together.
Right.
You're growing in the same direction, but one tends to take off a little bit more. And so what's happened, but at the end of it, you look back and go, there's this whole body of work.
Right.
You're filling up this sphere of life, these beautiful memories and moments. So there were moments where she's way more connected, and I think she's way more anointed than I am, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's moments where I grew a little bit more and a little bit faster. I'm called to leadership. I'm called to go to the pulpit and speak on messages and do the tithing messages and help out my pastor. And,
right.
Have been tasked and honored to be able to provide those messages and understand how to take scripture and put it into an applicable form where a younger generation, I might hit and he may not. So it's been really cool to be trusted like that with my pastor.
Right.
And it's been really cool to see my wife blossom. Like, she's in worship. Her voice is incredible. Makes me cry when she sings because it's so raw and I love it. But yeah, we've had an amazing life, and it's helped our marriage so much because no matter how angry we might get, like, our flesh wants to say these things.
Right.
And sometimes we will say those things. Like, I'm not going to front and be like, hey, we're perfect.
Right.
No. But we have this foundation that we can go back to and say, look, we made vows to each other. These are what those vows mean. We are for each other, not against each other. And we've just grown with each other.
I love that.
Yeah. And so that's really what faith in marriage does, is even in the bad times, it creates the bridge.
I love how you said that you guys, and that I was kind of picturing a tree when you were saying this. And a tree, at some seasons, one branch grows this direction. So that's kind of a cool analogy for a marriage and your faith. So I appreciate how that's gotten to you to where you are right now.
Thank you.
And so let's circle back to the time in your life. Well, kind of, let's say when you and I met, here's this young guy. I just remember I went to lunch with you and I was like, how does this guy dress so good?
Was I in a suit?
You probably were. Yeah.
I went through that. Was in my suit phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were such a phenomenal dresser. I have to bring that up because every time. So at what point, and I love how your parents' story of your mom was an interior designer. Your dad was always in tuxedos and GQ magazine. So clearly this influenced you.
Yeah, I mean, their style I was not into. I mean, my mom was like the typical 80s mom, like blonde hair, super red lipstick, like puffy pink dresses. Like, I hated it. Right. And then she'd like go to the pool and we'd be in like Palm Springs and she'd have these like bright pink whatever on.
Right.
And I was mortified the one time she wore a thong. I'm sorry, Mom, but I'm going to call you out. I was like, you are not my mom, right? But so that didn't really, like, fashion didn't affect me until like I was a late bloomer.
Okay.
So like, just to give you an idea.
Yeah.
What you see in front of you today.
Yeah.
Like, I was 4'11" in high school.
Okay.
Like, I graduated high school 4'11".
Yeah.
I had long hair. I had like the Jesus mustache. I was in like, I wore hang ten clothes.
All right.
I was in my surfer phase and played tennis, and I was chunky, right?
What?
Yeah. Believe it or not.
What?
So,
okay.
I was a late bloomer, put it that way.
Okay.
So that summer I turned 18 and I grew 5 inches.
Wow.
And then I grew another 3 inches or 4 inches. We'll say 4 inches, like a couple years after that. So I was a late bloomer. Like, I didn't have hair in my legs or my arms.
Yeah.
Or my armpit. Like, I literally had not hit puberty, until which like, sucked.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
So when I kind of started blossoming,
right,
I worked in retail. And so my first retail job was I was the Ralph Lauren specialist for Bloomingdale's home store.
Love it.
So I was dealing with fabrics and I was dealing with textiles and I was dealing with that.
That is why you love your Ralph Lauren. So we're working together on a project.
Yeah. I love Ralph Lauren.
I love it. I love it. Okay.
And my mom always loved Ralph Lauren. She would always try to have our house be very, leopard sheets with, or the comforter with red sheets. Right. Like, it was always this super fun, organic space with her. So that definitely influenced me. I didn't want to be a sheet salesman, but it was a job. It was like $20 plus I made commission. So I killed it. And then I got over that really quick at 18 because I was like, okay, I'm putting on clothes that I don't really feel like and I'm wearing like tweed jackets and, nice stuff that my parents had bought me because my mom's like, oh, you work for Ralph Lauren. Let's get you Ralph Lauren. So, I mean, the preppiest of prep stuff that you could do. And meanwhile, I'm like surfing and want to just rip it off, but I'm working. And so that transitioned from there at Fashion Island to a store that it was called DNA. It's in the jeans. And it was a denim store. And it was the first introduction to Diesel in America. So it was one of the retailers for Diesel jeans, which is a ginormous brand.
Right.
And so I went and I worked for them. And in that space, I was introduced to a alternative style fashion. And it was the jeans. I was wearing creepers at the time, and I started to explore these things. And as I'm doing it, I have spiky hair with pink spots.
So you've went through some transitions.
Yeah. So, but it was this color. Like I had spots in my hair of that color because that was the punk rock phase of my life.
Okay.
But I was always well dressed.
Right.
And because I had grown so much and because I had changed so much, I started to get attention from the females differently. Oh. So there was positive reinforcement to that of like, hey, if you dress well, you get attention.
Okay.
And then I just really fell in love with not getting attention. Of course, that was nice.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with putting outfits together. And that was like a creative process of like, how do we do this? And then I would model a little bit. And then it was like, okay, cool. And that was just a phase, but fashion always stuck with me.
So that thread of fashion, that's through your story.
Yeah.
Because I can see it. And I'm going to fast forward us now to your development days.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm learning about you now. I like it. I love this, the journey of where you got through real estate. Okay. Got you. Now you're into the development. You learned a lot from your dad. Mm-hmm. And so here you are now in this development phase of your life. And you are, by any standards, you're doing it. You're actually doing what you
Praise
say.
Be to God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have the pleasure of actually working with you on a project right now.
The best project ever in Dover Shores.
You're going to be amazing.
Yes.
So I appreciate how much you appreciate the art of creation and the creative process. Yeah. And so you have given us your vision. You've entrusted us to kind of execute this for you. So tell me what you thought of, when you're starting this project, especially. This is going to be an amazing home that's going to be for sale. We're building now.
Yeah.
We have the complete design done.
Yep.
There's just a few small little tweaks.
Yep.
But like the process of design for us has been really fun because you have such a great vision. And we always love when someone has a great vision,
Right.
but they also sit back and trust us to do our job.
Mm-hmm.
But you are very particular, which is great, which it's not a bad thing. Did
you hear that, Sam? Yes.
I love the particularness because it really helps zone us into exactly where we need to be.
Right. Well, first off, compliments to you and all of your trajectory, because I remember when we met, you have always been beautiful. But I remember you in a business suit, right? And you had a white shirt and it was a black pantsuit.
Yeah,
and I remember specifically.
I was in my suit phase.
Yeah, you were I think everybody was at that time, right?
Maybe.
We were trying to make the best impression.
Right.
We were growing up.
Now I'm in Nikes.
I have been such a huge fan of your aesthetic since day one. But it was always like, I was never at a level where I could afford you. So it was like, you're so dope. This is so great. You do wonderful projects. We'll work together one day. And I think I told you that. We will work together.
You are a man of your word.
And then it went to a level where it was like, okay, let's do it. Right. And now we are in this process of, you are the first design team that I have stepped back from versus saying, here's what you're going to do. Give me A, B, and C. And that's because I've watched you and been a fan, but also understood your process. And you've done amazing projects. I mean, my project, it's going to be beautiful to the audience. Like probably the best home in Dover Shores ever, in my opinion.
Aww.
Ever.
I think so.
And I always try to go one up. I always try to one up my developments.
Yeah.
But your process, the fun that you make it, the detail that you guys go into, the readiness that you have of, we do this is our space. Like you guys own that space. So it's very difficult for me to come in and be like, do this, and this, because you're doing it better than I would tell you to do it. So that's a huge compliment to you ladies, and you as a company and corporation, as you guys have grown, to have that ability to have a developer who's done a lot of homes.
Yeah.
And been with a lot of designers, to be able to go, this is cool. And you've made it more fun than a lot. And I've worked with, I mean, you know, I'm Valerie and the team. That's my girl. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So to shy away from my group that I usually do all of my projects with, to go with you guys, it was all you. It was all our relationship, our history, but also just my belief in what you would be able to do to elevate the brand. And that's what you do uniquely different, I think, than a lot of designers. A lot of designers are designers, but they don't help elevate their client or the developer. It's just, I'm a designer. And there's a bunch of wonderful designers, but you have that business acumen to do that. And so that's another, you know, compliment to you.
Thank you. I appreciate
So for me, I'm just honored to be one of your clients, truly, and doing the home that we are doing together. And I mean, I think you saw my face in our last meeting of how super stoked I am about how this is coming together.
Good.
Like, it's going to be insane. And I know that I am particular, by the way, truth be told. I'm very detail oriented, but there are certain things that I'll be like, nope, let's push back
absolutely, which is fine.
Yeah. And I think that collaboration, that clashing in the collaboration is so important, because through that comes the sparks of creativity.
Absolutely.
So it's been awesome.
It's an amazing team effort. I mean, and you see just from the standpoint of your vision and then how many people actually it takes to kind of execute it.
And they're all unified in the same direction.
Right.
We share, and I've said this about my company, is that we all share a singular vision, and my entire team, from the build team to design team, has to have that vision. Your company has that through and through.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I pride myself on that. And that's, I mean, at the end of the day, if we're not all raising each other up, then it's a loss, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So we all want to win. So we're going to walk away from this being super proud of the work. And I was talking to some of my staff members the other day, and I said, this is a hard business. It really is. Some of the designers come in right out of design school and they have no idea what they're in for. It's theory. We get to be creators. We get to pick out pillow fabrics. No, they're in for a rude awakening of how much work the execution of making, just the sofa that you're sitting on or the space that you're sitting in.
I see it and I feel it. Yeah.
This was kind of put on the back burner because obviously our clients came first. So this podcast space, it's a lot of execution. It's one thing to have the vision, but like the designers to actually see it through, that's where they almost go to their breaking point.
It's tough.
It's a really tough. And then you get the calls from, this happened or this came in wrong and things like that. So there's times where I tell them, you guys have to love this industry. It's not the most profitable industry by any means. We are not in finance. No. I don't have too many interior designers hiring us as an interior designer. That would be, but I mean, mostly it's people that come from the finance world or come from doctors, architects, engineers background. And so it's frustrating at times because they're working their butt off to create something and then the budget gets cut and we can't execute the design exactly as we want. So that's something that we all work together, even with the client, when we're working together to create, a beautiful home. It's funny, sometimes some of our most expensive looking projects actually aren't the most expensive.
That's hard to execute, right? Because the idea is if you pay more, it looks more.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. I haven't experienced that yet in one of my projects, but I hope to.
The Anita project.
Yes.
Did we even come up with a name for this project yet?
We have not.
Why have we not?
I don't know, but like my thing is every project has a name.
Absolutely.
Like 2100 Windwinter is that one.
Yeah.
So this one has to be incredible. So we should collab on that for sure.
We absolutely should. Yeah. After this, we need to kind of brainstorm.
Because it now has a spirit.
It does.
And you provided that.
Oh.
Yeah, truly.
Thank you.
And I think I want to say something in a public atmosphere so that people hear this. Interior designers truly are the lifeblood of a project.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you bring color to a space that doesn't have color. When a builder tries to design by himself, it's a mess. And a good builder will say, I'm not going to do that.
You're right.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. A good builder will say that. And we're so blessed to work with such amazing builders that push for a designer on the project. But, we like to say we add the soul to the home.
You do.
And there's truth. And it's so funny in the grand scheme of things. People think, designers, like they're expensive, they're this. They're actually add so much value.
They're expensive not to use.
100%.
I have been so fortunate to have worked with designers that I have worked with, primarily serendipity, because they have added so much value to the project. You have added so much value to so many others' projects and to mine. Just that layer of detail is, the best way to put it is, so like looking in this room, there's like 18 different layers of detail. A typical designer would have 4 or 5. So your level to be able to go that deep is just incredible.
Thank you.
And that's the value add component.
To me, it's all in the details.
Yeah.
It's actually the subconscious. It's so much psychology in design. And it's the unconscious mind that sees those details. They can't even put their finger on it. That's
something I'm learning a lot through my experience with you. Because I'll look at something once and I'll be like, and then you'll walk me through it. And I'm like, oh. Okay, wait, stop right there. Take it from the rendering, program to the real life, what it looks like in a digital format. And then I'm like, dude, okay, there you go.
That's why I encourage so many people to be in person to see the materials. Because some people want to see everything on Zoom.
Don't do that.
It doesn't give the depth or even just, the walkthrough on the, it's great. It's a great visual. It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But seeing and touching, like, for example, we were talking about the rendering and you were like, oh my gosh, why do we have a red wall of tile? And we're like, no. The rendering's off. The TV's off.
I was stressed. And I didn't want to be the a-hole. Hey guys, we're scratching this.
Yeah.
Ladies, we're scratching this.
Yeah.
But I was tripping. I was like, we have a white leather mirror with a red wall. Like, what am I doing here?
Rona, where are you going?
Yeah,
with this?
What is happening to my home here? Yeah.
No, it's not red. It's oxblood. And you had actually oxblood on that day.
It is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
It's going to be.
Yeah.
Your house is going to be so kick-ass.
Well, hopefully it'll be in every magazine possible.
Hey, it's
my goal is to get into Architectural Digest not to sell a home, but to be featured in the home.
You should be.
That's like a goal, not the pay to play Architectural Digest, right?
Right.
Like you still got to do that to like get there so that they recognize you, but to be recognized as like, hey, SkySale builds the dopest homes in Newport Beach.
You should. You will.
This guy needs to, and not even me. Don't feature me. Feature a home.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't need that.
It's your vision.
I'm very, I try to be extremely humble I try to be extremely humble and stay extremely grateful and kind of shy away from the spotlight. And I'm never like me.
Right.
But when it comes to something that others have worked on with, I will promote the absolute you-know-what out of it. Like, that's why I have a publicist, because I won't do what she does.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, you tell me what it is, but there's a limit to what I will accept and not, and what I will do and not. Question for you. What is the hardest part, do you find, in being an interior designer in the creative process? Where do you, when you are thinking about a new project, like not even one of mine, but a new project in general, and a client comes to you and they're like, do whatever you want. Where do you find the difficult things? Because sometimes I have blocks where I'm super creative, and sometimes I have blocks in not being creative at all.
Right.
So for you, what's that process look like? Because it's so important, I think, for your audience to understand how you overcome that.
You mean in the sense that we're trying to create something new for the project, or the
like
aesthetic?
What do you find the most difficult in your creative process? The beginning of like conceptualizing everything, the details, the execution part and integration, or what?
I think there's always this moment in the creative process, like the kickoff. We have a welcome party and a kickoff, and that's really where we kind of lay everything out. We have this creative like visual of what the project's going to look like. Every project starts the same way. It's a mood board and inspiration. Like, you know, you saw that with your project. We were like, give us some inspiration where you wanted to start. But for me, I'm never trying to recreate the same house.
Yeah, that's like me.
Yeah. So it has to be a new envision.
And do you find do you ever, or have you ever found that it's difficult to not do that? Like where you're pulling like your catalog of like all the things, because you've done a lot. So is it difficult to like not to separate that and be like, this is a new space, this is new? It's
difficult in the way that I tend to want to get inspiration somewhere new and different than what typical is.
Yeah, so looking for the new is difficult.
Yeah, looking for the new, and that can be done by a multitude of ways. I mean, just traveling for me. Like actually the act of traveling and seeing things, but then also just being able to shut myself off from the day-to-day.
Like Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
amazing.
kind of like that was every time I travel and shut off, I come back with a different perspective.
That's beautiful.
And ideas flow to me.
Sure.
So it's cutting off, and then you're allowing yourself to open yourself to kind of like, for me, I am connecting to God. I am connecting to source of like when you want to give up or quit, or this client's, you know, difficult, or not you, of course.
No,
but there's projects that like people fight us. And those are the projects that always end up like rocky or something. It's like,
I should have, I could have. Why didn't I? Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah, it's like the clients that trust us, and that's why repeat clients are so amazing, because they've already been through the process. They get it. We get to be creative. There's no, hassling. We're not trying to convince them of anything. They're just letting the process flow. So when you stop that flow, it's difficult. It's like surfing. I don't surf, but you surf. My son surfs. My husband surfs. Everyone surfs.
Your husband shreds. So, as does your son.
Yes.
So Sam knows your husband, and he's like,
oh, really?
Dude, her husband shreds.
He's really good.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I know.
I learn a lot from my husband. He and I, and that's a whole different podcast we'll talk about one day.
I would love that.
But I had, the fortune of meeting him later in life, and my whole life changed once we got together.
Yeah.
And it opened up my creative, because I was not in this place of, fear anymore. It was just like I had someone have my back.
Yeah.
And so the design process now, that would be my number one advice to someone. Like, your life partner changes your whole life.
100%.
Right? And I can see that with you. Everything you talk about so much in your business and everything, it always circles back to your wife and your family.
Yeah, I mean, I have a wife who honestly just like loves me despite me. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like I am so innately flawed and so, um, because I have such a drive,
Yeah.
I'm like maniacal when it
Yeah.
comes to specific things. She's that calm.
Yeah.
You know, she is that wind in my sails when I need it.
Yeah.
That sun on my face and just amazing. Come in.
Let's talk about what's next on the horizon. I've covered we're going to have you back
I
for
would
sure.
love that.
There's
Yeah.
so much more to go into
Yes.
and deep dive with you.
Yeah.
I feel like I barely cracked the nut with you.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, we could talk for hours.
We could, and I would love to do that.
Absolutely.
I want to know what's next for you. What's on the horizon?
What's next for me is I'm in this amazing space where we just started the consulting side of SkySale.
Okay.
And that is, there were so many people that were walking through the homes and saying, can we hire you to run our project?
Right.
And it's like, yes, you can, but let me explain to you what that is.
Right.
I'm going to bring in my builder. I'm going to bring in my designer.
Yeah.
And then we're going to run your project. And
Right.
basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make your process that you have the fun process, where you get to come to the fun meetings. You get to pick the cool stuff. You get to trust the process. You know that your money is being managed well. You have real-time reporting. You have all the technology behind you. So there's that element that we just started.
Yeah.
I just finished 2 projects.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I started one in a like 8,000 square foot beautiful home in Big Canyon.
Okay.
That I'm doing for a client. And I just finished an amazing home in Turtle Rock in Irvine.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
it's a great concept.
what's interesting about that is it was with a Hindu family.
Okay.
So I was introduced to different elements of how they live.
Right.
So it was this beautiful experience of me of learning. So it's a great place for me to learn, but also apply everything of 25 years of true multi-layered experience. And then what's next is scaling SkySale. The idea is to go from doing 3 to 4 projects a year to 5 to maybe 7 projects a year.
Okay.
And that's a combination of the non-stressful consulting side along with my own personal projects.
Okay.
And that's really the focus of taking projects and doing amazing homes, having an amazing publicist who does all of the promoting for that and keeps it relevant. And also just, making my next goal is to, how do we make the next impact? How do we create a legacy in the community? How do we create this space that we're creating now, which will be, for a long time, I think, a legacy piece in Dover Shores?
Absolutely.
And how do we change the landscape of communities? And that's really what I've done throughout my career is, I'll build a home. People will think I'm nuts. We'll sell it for that price. And then it's like, okay, everything, the tide rises. And that's what I want to continue to do, is do good work with great people for an amazing cause and become more charitable and also do more for my community. But above all of that, how can I be a better servant of God and put him first in the forefront and give him all the glory? How can I be a better husband or, continue to strive to be the best that I can? And then how do I be the best father in my kids as they start growing up? Those are the priorities, because if I get those right, like everything else is right in the world. Right. Because I did those 3 things right, because that's all I'm going to be remembered for is how was I as a husband? How was I as a dad? The homes, the this, the that all fades. Right. But I do have a goal of where I want to take the company and how I want to have that be a legacy in Newport Beach and try my best not to screw it up. And I do have a goal above that, which is, how do I take that drive that I have for my family and the drive that I have for becoming the best developer in town and most well-known for best product, and integrate those together so that, people get a true sense of when I'm delivering a SkySale home, there's love, there's honor, there's respect behind that home. Right. Because the guy doing it isn't a, shady person.
You're not. You are an amazing person who cares. So there's a lot of love that goes into those homes. I can attest. And it's so important to note that, because you can feel energy in homes.
Yeah.
You can feel when there's love put into a home.
Yeah.
You can feel the people, the team that's building that home.
Yeah.
You have to remember, and I don't think people understand that. Again, it goes back to that subconscious feeling of what makes a house feel different.
Yeah.
When you have people that are happy, that are building your home, they're happy doing their craft.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to remember that too, is you're giving all these people who love what they do with their hands, with their eyes, the ability. And it's not just a flip home. It's not just a spec home.
Yeah, I don't do flips, but yeah.
You bring a lot of passion into your homes.
I try to, and that's from the acquisition side to the disposition side.
Yeah.
I try, but I've always said this, that if you have good people working with passion, you have a purpose. And if you have a great purpose, then you've got an amazing product. And that's really what it's about. And that's what I try to pour into the entire team, and the most important thing, I just want to say this to you because it's important. And it's one of the things that people need to know about designers and about the way that I think that they should be treated, is that you need to give the artist artistic freedom to operate in their space, because if you do not, then you are limiting their ability to truly shine. And so whether it be the builder, the architect, or whatever, it's like, hey, here's my idea.
Yeah.
I don't know everything. I don't want to know everything. And it doesn't have to be my way, but let's make it our way. And that's where that love and passion and that intersection of where that purpose starts to really form. And we got it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's a powerful tool, creation.
It is.
And you have it, and then you combine it with another creator and creative.
Yeah.
It really does make magic.
It does.
And, I can feel it with us. Our house is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
It's
special.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, it is. I mean, some of the things you guys have done, just that level of taking it from 5 layers, 6 layers, 7 layers deep to like 25 layers, 30 layers deep of, hey, we're thinking about this. This is what it's going to look like when it walks in. And then having the sun shine through the rendering so that you see all the various hours is nuts.
It's cool, huh?
Oh, dude, it's so dope. Like the technology that you guys use and say, guys, I mean, no disrespect, but the technology that you ladies use is incredible.
Thank you.
In the way that you use it. I mean, I'm sitting in a meeting last week. Was it this week? This week?
It was this week. Wow. This week has been long.
When was it?
No, it was last week.
It was okay. Yeah. I'm like, dude, wait.
What are we on?
It's Friday.
Wednesday? Yeah.
And we're literally changing things on the fly with somebody next to me and then making it real time with design. Like that doesn't happen.
Yes.
It's amazing. It typically takes 2 weeks and costs me like $5,000.
And so that's the thing where the technology is advancing. We're able to render things. We're going to showcase this really quickly.
Unless you're mean, you do.
Actually, she did an amazing job. Like of her backyard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she legit, sorry, this is going to be extra footage. But she legit sent it to me and I'm like, who did this for you? She's like, I did it on ChatGPT.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's pretty
how?
cool. The technology.
I mean, you can only get so far, obviously.
But it's
for
dope.
Like me, who's a dodo with this stuff, like at least it gave me an idea.
It's dope.
Yeah,
you killed it. She killed it. And then I get out there and I'm in like my white linen suit and I'm like walking around, like drawing things and talking to her. And I drew it out. We still have to get Fidel over there, but I think we got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the technology, the ChatGPT, the AI, I mean, we're using everything we can. And for people that are afraid of it, I think you have to embrace it. It's just a matter of where we're going. It's like a calculator. Yeah. They once told us our grades, years, they said you'd never have a calculator attached to you at all times. Yeah, we do.
Yeah. But I wanted to get back to something that you asked. So what's beyond? A goal of mine is to create a SkySale community. You know, my world comes from land entitlement. So I'm used to CEQA, NEPA, all of those very complicated things that are not sexy to people, but are how cities are planned.
Yeah.
And so I can literally plan a city from beginning to end, inception to disposition. Not a problem. My goal is to find enough land to do a community of really amazing homes at the level that I'm doing these homes now.
I love it.
Where that will be,
Yeah.
I'm hoping, because I'm very specific, you know, that I don't go outside of Corona Del Mar, Newport Beach.
Right.
And I only do 3 communities, Irvine Terrace,
Right.
Dover Shores, and Harborview Hills South.
Yeah.
I will explore more of Newport, but that's the goal. That's the horizon. Like, that's when I think about how can I create a master plan community built by SkySale and have like different product types that have lived in my head, you know, and have them designed professionally. That's the goal.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. You so far, everything you're putting your mind to, you're doing it.
Yeah. And that's the struggle, is letting go and letting God.
Yeah.
Not my will, but his will be done.
Absolutely.
So that's for me what's next, is more him, less of me, but sharing my dreams, my hopes, my aspirations with others, in hopes that, you know, I make an impact. And again, as I said, I'm not self-made. I'm made by the generosity of others and my dedication to the service of the relationship within them. I hope that, you know, I can meet somebody that's like, hey, you know what? Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll go from there.
Well, I think you're going to pay attention to the signs that are going to lead you right there.
Always. Always.
Where can people find you if they want to follow you and learn more about you?
You can find me on Instagram at Drew D'Angelo, or you can find SkySale at SkySale Coastal. You can go to www.skysalecoastal.com. And then if you need real estate sales, obviously, you can look at Case or the HD team and just Google that and my name will pop up.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anything you want to leave us with?
No, I love and appreciate you.
Love you
and
too.
I'm honored to be sitting here with you and have this entire crew that you've assembled, which are beautiful people. And then I get to see my publicist there. I'm just grateful.
I'm grateful too.
Yeah. So thank you for taking the time during your very busy work day to see me.
Thank you for coming. Yeah. And I'm so glad to hear everything that you just said to me. I'm still processing it all. Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's still more, and you're going to come back, right?
Yes, I would love to.
Well, yeah. Thank you, Drew.
I love to talk.
I love it. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will see you again soon.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.